Ladies and gentlemen, it is Saturday night. I'm Alex Jones, coming to you live from my home with breaking news and intel. 5-6 hours ago, we got the news of the false missile alert in the Hawaiian Islands, the most westerly territory of the United States, the most isolated island chain in the world. I was just there back in June with our crew, traveling to Kauai, the furthermost westerly area of the Hawaiian Islands, to go visit the main missile base there that is not offensive but defensive to shoot down Russian, Chinese, or North Korean missiles. And they have been on high alert, obviously, with the whole North Korean crisis. But I wasn't going to shoot a video or live report today because we didn't have enough information. Then I began to get calls from my CIA sources, my high-level Army intelligence sources, and analysis from my Delta Force sources, and just many others, that there is no way that this was an accident and that somebody pushed the wrong button, because there's 5 fail-safes. These are not computerized systems. They get computerized readings, but then humans have to flip off or on 5 switches to then manually activate the alert. Now, again, it's this afternoon. I start hearing about it. I look at it. I see it. I think that sounds strange. I then start reading my Twitter, my Facebook. I see all these people that have veterans accounts and people in special operations who are known public figures saying this is impossible, there's major fail-safes. Then my phone rings from not one but 2, one former State Department source, another CIA. Then my phone rings from someone who associated with Delta Force. Then I get some more phone calls and they're like, why aren't you covering this? This is huge. This is gigantic. This is meant to embarrass Trump. This is meant to destabilize things, and it's meant to distract from the fact that there were uranium-1 indictments that it turns out came out yesterday that nobody noticed, that broke today. Those are on Infowars.com with people connected to the Clintons. The indictments have happened. And also that there was reportedly, evidence shows, a second shooter in Vegas in the new FBI search warrants. And that indeed, as our hostage rescue team sources and the FBI told us the day after it happened, that what we broke on air from our sources is exactly what's in those, and that he was an arms dealer, and it was an arms deal gone bad. So there's just a lot of big breaking news coming out, and sure enough, I was arguing with one person, I say 5-6 hours ago, it was like I guess 8 hours ago now, and I'm saying to him, well, I mean, how do you know this is meant to embarrass Trump? And they said, look at the news. They're saying Trump, because he stood with North Korea, is basically eliciting this, and because he's the commander-in-chief, it's his fault. And this also overshadows the news of a few days ago of the South Korean president saying, thank you for putting pressure on the dictatorship of Kim Jong-un to the north. They've come to the table with the first peace deal in 20 plus years. Yeah, it's been 2 years since they used the hotline, but usually the hotline's like, we want to talk to you about, moving something or doing something. It's been 2 years since they talked, period, on the hotline. 20 plus years since they wanted to have a peace deal and come to the table. So Trump standing up to them has just been a huge success. And a lot of calculus goes into this, and a lot of things that I'm not privy to, you're not privy to. But as you know, our sources are amazing, they're incredibly accurate, and they say this is a way to change the news subjects away from officials of Uranium-1 who gave money directly to Hillary Clinton, have been indicted. That's to do the chain up to start putting pressure on Hillary and others. And the fact that finally Jeff Sessions is doing what he's supposed to do. And the other big story is Vegas breaking and so much more. That's how they changed the subject. And I talked to one of the sources again later today, and they said, Alex, listen, the military, just like Reality Winner. Remember Reality Winner? She's a blonde-haired girl. She says she hates all whites. She loves Black Lives Matter. So that's a prerequisite to work for Apple, Google, or Facebook, or Twitter. She says, I want to bring in communism. I love Antifa. I love ISIS. I want to join ISIS. And she had a top secret security clearance. So under Obama, they brought in tens of thousands of people like that. They've already had in Kauai and in Oahu and on the Big Island, I guess that's Kona. While I was there, they had 2 busts of one person inside the missile base and then another person in another missile base trying to sabotage things and trying to give intel to ISIS. And you're like, this sounds insane. These people are insane. Anything that's anti-American, they join it. And so then there was another bust after that, and then a couple more. I mean, we've got to go over all this. And again, these sources can't give me classified information. And again, they're getting information from other people they know as well. So they got to be very careful about what they tell me, or it can burn sources. It's just, look at this, Alex, look at this, look at this, look at this. And I'm sitting there going, okay, I want to paint pottery with my daughters, and I need one day off a week. They're just like, listen, get up off your ass and get these reports up. And I understand we've got some other huge breaking news. My morning started pretty early with the phone calls I got from Japan and Russia and Los Angeles about some other big news. We're going to be breaking on Monday, but let me tell you, there's a quickening. It's not just InfoWars or newswars.com that's having all this big stuff happen. It's everybody in all our lives. We can see it. People are getting better or they're getting worse. The sheep from the goats, the wheat from the chaff, the gold from the pewter, the trash from the riches, the good from the bad. And it's all happening right now. And then separately tonight, I spent a lot of time watching even CNN Smerconish with Michael Wolff going, we got the emails from the White House where you said, I love Trump, it's a positive piece, give me access, blah, blah, blah. Bannon brought you in, and then you lied about it. And Smerconish pressed him, and then Wolff goes, oh, you work for the White House now. I mean, even when CNN finally does their job, here's Wolff, this total fraud, who said, quote, I was reading his quotes today, and the things he said 100% of the people in the White House say Trump is mentally unfit and doesn't know what he's doing as an idiot. He admittedly didn't talk to any of the cabinet members, though earlier he said he talked to the cabinet members, and he never talked to the president. It's all on record when the president talks to people. That's why they flipped out so bad when they found out how many times I've talked to the president. They crap their doors. I mean, occasionally he calls people from his security cell phones, and I'm not giving away secrets, that's well known. And of course he has military folks that are giving him his intel, not just the Secret Service, because he's a smart guy. And I'm not giving away secrets there. They try to get rid of the military personnel and people who are actually loyal to this country because they know Trump's getting real intel from them. But you have the stock market coming back, you have the jobs coming back, you have respect coming back, you have double the appointments for veterans, the VA coming back, 70% reduction in people coming across the border. You've got everything being delivered. And then they say this total insane person that 100% of people hate in the White House. That's just total BS by a known BS artist. Proven BS. Okay, well then if he's the retarded, mentally ill idiot, why don't we see it on TV? And if he's this big moron, then why did the economy come back? And why did exuberance come back? And why did jobs come back? The best numbers we've seen in 100 years, particularly for black people, the best unemployment numbers and highest wage numbers for African Americans ever recorded since the Bureau of Labor Statistics was created. And there you go. They don't have anything real. They just lie and lie and lie and lie and lie and lie and lie. And then claim that in some meeting, Trump says, why are we only bringing people in from crap holes, shit holes? And then Trump denied he said it. It was probably some context, but I've met people from the third world, people from Africa and Latin America. They say, I'm glad to be in America and out of the shithole I was in. I mean, you look at the hellhole of North Korea and those defectors getting shot trying to run across to safety, or what happened with East Germany, the same thing on the checkpoint Charlie. It's one thing to be open and say, you can come here from shitholes to make a better life. But to then say that we can't say that a lot of countries are hellholes, like Communist China, if you're a Christian or Buddhist, and then if you say something's a shithole, you're a bad person. But all that aside, let's look at the main lesson from all of this. We have 60,000 operable nuclear weapons, according to the UN Atomic Energy Agency and the US and Russian numbers. You got 15,000 US, 15,000 Russian, and that's 30-something thousand. You got all the other countries together, French and the Germans, and the EU has its own, and then the British and everybody else. And then you got a bunch of other tactical nuclear weapons. It all comes up to about 60,000 weapons. We know everybody cheats and lies about it. Let's say there's 100,000 weapons. Depending on their size and configuration, they estimate they can molten the entire surface of the earth and radiate it for several billion years, 10 to 20 times over conservatively. No one knows exactly. And the fact that you've got a dictatorship that can't even produce automobiles and who only has power in 2 cities, while South Korea is this heaven of industry and money and medicine and capital and innovation. And it just shows you what a nightmare communism is. And we should be able to say North Korea is a hellhole. And they've got nuclear weapons that the Clintons and the Chinese gave them. And Trump is saying no to that and has made them come to the table. And now to escalate this whole thing, we have a ICBM tracking computer with satellites that shows it's launched supposedly out of Asia, East Asia, and is coming in. And for 31 minutes, people are getting in manhole covers, they're getting in sewers, they're thinking they're dying. And then you think, oh, maybe it's a mistake, and you go, wait, those things have a bunch of fail-safes. They don't let a computer, still, that's smart. Just like self-driving cars aren't smart. You have your alerts and stuff, but look with your own eyes. Look at your own radar, look at your own telemetry, look at the satellite feeds. Don't hit the button yourself. You've got 5 layers of human switches, and I'm told 3 layers of military officers looking at the telemetry to make the decision. You know it's a lie 100% that somebody hit the wrong button. Because once you start flipping those switches on different systems, okay, we've got an alert. Let's go to level 1, just like DEFCON 5. It's 5 systems. It's very similar. This is DEFCON. This is the DEFCON. But it's a system of that before the alert. And so, okay, it's getting its telemetry. Looks like we've got a missile, maybe a malfunction. And again, this is all classified stuff, but a lot of it's leaked. So I'm not going to give you the exact stuff from the research we've got, but it's like this. Okay, we've got it picked up on the satellite. We got it picked up on telemetry also off ground-based systems in South Korea, and we've got it picked up off aircraft carriers. Let's go level 1. This is 1 minute after launch. Bloop. Okay, telemetry a couple minutes in is picking up a missile at about 6,000 feet. Looks like it's rising. That's data from about 2 minutes ago. We'll be at about 20,000 feet right now. Let's go ahead and go level 2. Bloop. Okay, we got eyes and ears, satellite picking it up. Okay, that's confirmed. By then you'd know. You don't go bloop, 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 and then go and tell everybody, ladies and gentlemen, on your cell phone, on your computer, on the computer in your car, sirens, war pigs, man. You got war pigs going on here. And 100% we're being lied to. That is absolutely a fact. You can set the basis on that. Now what's going on? And it's just like Vegas. The guy has leftist background, jihad background, traveling to the Middle East, weapons dealer background. We told you all that. The only thing the FBI hostage rescue team and these idiots go, Jones, I thought the FBI is corrupt. We have corrupt people in charge of the FBI. An institution is just who's in it. But good people in the HRT that have given us great info about the Bundys and great info to get our reporters out of there and not be involved. And then the day later, or 2 days later, it all happened. Some of those same sources, said, listen, we just went in there and it's almost like it's a setup. There's Antifa crap everywhere. They're traveling the Middle East. There's all this other crap. There's other things I'm not supposed to get into. We think the guy's a weapons dealer with Muslims, with this big Saudi Arabian confab they were having there that week. That this was some type of Saudi civil war boil over deal. Months later, that's the mainline news. And again, all I know is that we're giving you the real information. I don't know what it all means, but this is a big deal, this missile situation. Because once that thing's coming in, they start up missile systems to shoot it down, and bombers get launched, cruise missiles get prepared, satellites get in place, troops get mustered, fighter squadrons get scrambled, and everything starts lining up to war. And so did somebody hack in? Again, you can't hack in. You could have the system hacked to show something false perhaps, but you can't have somebody 5 levels of switches before you hit the alert with the chief officer's order who's on the deck at the time. So that's 6 layers, but 5 layers of switches, then the final order, so 6 total. Sorry, I need to amend that. It's 5 levels of backup before you start going to nuclear war. Because if you're shooting down ICBMs in missile command, that's what it is. Then the next thing is retaliation. My sources just say it's 100% false and could not be by itself. And was not what they say, somebody hitting the wrong button. That's impossible. So then the media spins it as Trump's fault. And you got to ask yourself, the globalists and the leftists have been infiltrating every institution of this country. They haven't denied the Antifa documents we got last week, where they were trying to create race war, to create martial law. God, they're on TV saying they're going to do it. Phil Mudd of the CIA's on TV saying they're going to kill the president. He says he's a shitholer, the president's a racist, and lists every group. The president hates Irish. The president hates Germans. The president hates blacks. The president, none of it's even true. These are just wild-eyed, crazy loons that had sold us out to communist China and the Russians, and America's coming back, and we've caught them, and the indictments are beginning, and there aren't many of these Mueller underlings that aren't on Russian payroll. When the Russians do buy people off, they do infiltrate, they do that. Chinese 50 times more, but we are restoring America. We're taking things back from the bad actors. And they own the media, they own Hollywood. Another big thing is Stephen Colbert took me out of context, highly edited tape from September, when I said the president is incredibly cognizant, incredibly smart. He makes hundreds of phone calls a day. He's working off and on 18 hours a day, stopping, watching some TV, reading the New York Times, checking internet clips, signing documents. But I said, in phone conversations, he has been slurring his words. I talked to several people after I heard it, and it was obviously tired. I get like that sometimes too. Just a little bit of a kind of repeating something. I reached out and I said, have you heard this? And they said, it's funny you say that, we have. He was encouraged to stop staying up till 2 in the morning and to stop getting up at 6 a.m. He was encouraged to go to bed by 11 and to get up at 6 a.m., which he now does, and the problem went away. And it wasn't a big thing. It was like him in the speech when he was kind of talking for 30 minutes and he had to get the water. It was like, yeah, well, it's a little bit of my God, if I've sometimes been on there 5-6 hours, I'm 44 years old next month. I start slurring my words without alcohol. You get up there and you start giving a speech for a long time. You start talking. I've been on like 3-hour interviews on radio. And you just kind of sit there. The coffee doesn't work because you've been sitting there at your desk. Trump is a machine. I remember one day he called me up and I said, sir, how many calls have you made a day? And he goes, your call, whatever it was, 50 something or whatever. I said, how many more you got? And he goes, you're the only person ever asked me that. He said, I got 200 more to go. And I said, sir, you don't need to do that. And I said, I'm gonna get off the phone right now. The media made a big deal about it, that I don't want Trump on and I'm denied the president and he's a piece of crap. I was sitting there, myself on vacation, burnout at 43 years old, in Hawaii, strangely enough. And he's making hundreds of phone calls just to tell people he appreciates them. Because that's what he was doing that. And I said, you don't need to do that. And he said, well, I'm going to come on and we need to talk more. And I said, listen, you need to talk to me, you can call me. But I said, I don't want anything, just keep doing what you're doing. And I said, and I've been called since, but I said, you don't need to call me anymore. I said, you don't need to keep me supporting you. What you're doing, deliver. I said, just give us the tax cuts, take care of the veterans, restore the sovereignty, all of it, free market. I said, I'm going to back you. And he said, wow, well, I appreciate that, Alex. Other people don't do that. They always want, I said, yeah. I said, what I want is you to deliver. He said, I am. Am I not? Am I not delivering? And the media took that and turned it into something dirty, turned it into something bad, that I was saying, you don't need to sit there and kill yourself. Man, let me tell you something. I used to, when I was on talk radio, when I was about 24 and I just gotten syndicated, and I had about 15 affiliates, and I wanted to sell some advertising and I wanted to be successful, I'd call every station manager, I'd call sponsors, I'd make 50 phone calls a day, and I meant what I was saying. I'd write notes and I'd do it. Let me tell you something, I don't make 5 phone calls a day at 40, 44, 43. It's exhausting to be real with people. And he's real. And so he's mentally one of the most cogent people I've ever known. It's not ass kissing. Colbert said, oh, Jones made the fun of this stuff. Jones knows how big the president's penis is. You got to go watch it. It's on Infowars.com. It is pretty funny. Because he's so busy kissing Trump's ass. Man, listen, I'm not kissing Trump's ass. I'm not into Hollywood. I've been offered all the big shows. I've been in movies. Everybody knows that. It means nothing unless the message was good. And I will tell you, the offers have gotten astounding as of late. But it's just, I enjoy being out here in front of the fire talking to you more than being in some Hollywood movie. It isn't about kissing Trump's ass. It's about kissing Victory's ass. Her big old, juicy, beautiful ass. And I like doing it. Let me tell you. I've got a fetish for Victory's ass. It's about kissing the truth's ass. And it's about, everything we've seen is about not mismanagers, but people trying to press America under the water to bankrupt it, to totally take control of it and sell it off, which they'd already done. And right at the last moment, our own establishment, a section, decided to not destroy the country and to bring it back like the Phoenix. And that's what President Trump has done, thanks to you and everybody else. I don't want to get in the Democratic Party in Travis County and everything else, but can you imagine living here and the stuff I've been through, and I'm not complaining, and what I could have done in my own personal life if I would have played along with them. And they're bad news folks. They let me know. All that stuff you saw in the last year, back in April of 2017, everything, that if I would just go along, everything would go a lot better. And hundreds of newspapers coming here to try to destroy my life. And you know what? Makes me sick at a physical, bestial, flesh level that I stayed the course and did the right thing. But at the spiritual level, it was a whole nother level. Like I passed that test, and it was like I won the game. You know what I mean? The discernment, the understanding, the opportunity, everything became a whole nother level of being a man. And that's what founded this country, was people putting their name, their children, their treasure, everything on the line, not in the pissing contest, but just to be the real. So, because there's the false in the universe. There's the lie. But for the lie, there's the real thing. And it doesn't mean being the real thing means you're perfect. It just means you're not a scumbag. You're not a coward. And you're not going to commit to things and then roll over. But we've seen exponentially things get crazier. And you see how this world with 60,000 or probably more nuclear weapons is so tenuous. And then you see our media making fun of President Trump when he's standing up in North Korea armed by the globalists, and you see them cheerleading against everything that's going on. They're suicide globalists. They don't realize in the thick of just trying to have personal power how much danger they're putting everybody in, because they don't have spiritual power. They don't have creativity. They don't have will. And that's why they see America, a place where you're allowed to exercise that, as a threat. Because the globalist hunchbacks, these people, are out to stop human potential. They want to steal it and try to hoard it, because then maybe they could be a real boy. And so We shouldn't feel sorry for these evil people, but we shouldn't even hate them. We should just hate ourselves if we don't stand up to them. So Owen Schroyer was going to be hosting tomorrow 4 to 6 p.m. with the Sunday show, and he's a very great host and great guy. I'll probably have to come in tomorrow with him now because of all this accelerating and moving. And I want to thank Michael Zimmerman for coming to my house tonight to shoot this video. I want to encourage you all to stand against these liars. All you judge in the universe is, do you plug your cord in of your stereo and does electricity come through? Do you kiss your girlfriend? Does she love you back? Do you go to a restaurant? Is the steak good? When you work hard, does it feel good? When you stand up to a bully that's attacking you and punch back and he falls on his ass, that's the proof of life. It's the proof of what's there. You know, when you sit there and your wife, that baby's coming out and you're living, I mean, does it feel good? Does it feel bad? This is the proof of life. And you judge a tree by its fruits. And I've told the story only once before, but I remember sitting out there in the late summer with my dad's late mother, my grandmother, and Patty Ross Jones. And I remember sitting out looking across the road to her cattle ranch, and there were plum trees and apple trees and pear trees and all these trees out there. And she said, you know, apple trees aren't supposed to live more than 20, 30 years. That apple tree I planted when I was a little girl, and this, you know, this magnolia right here, my mama planted when she was a little girl. She's still there today, this big, giant, beautiful magnolia. But she was looking across the road, the magnolia's right there, and she said, but you see that big old plum tree right there? I'm gonna have my son, Joe, when next time he's out here shredding, I'm gonna have him cut that down. Because even though it's the biggest plum tree out there, and it's crowded out all these other trees, it doesn't produce one good plum. And she said, that's what the Bible says. And she wasn't a Bible thumper, but she got the Bible. God, she'd read me the English translation of the Iliad when I go down there and stay for a week. She'd sit there right on the couch with me, laying on the couch with my head in her lap. And man, for like 4 hours, she'd read me the Iliad, and the next day the Iliad, and I just, you know, all of that. And she had a master's in English, and she stared over there and she said, that tree doesn't produce fruit. But she said, you see that little old scraggly old plum tree? Look at it. And I said, it's touching the ground. It had so many plums on it, this little scrawny tree, with hardly any leaves, that it was. We walked over there and we picked all those up. And she said, see, this tree produces, but you don't judge it by the cover. This tree's big and giant. It doesn't produce anything. And it's the same thing. Trump, under attack, is this scrawny attack tree, and it's just fruit just piled up, just piling off of it for you. And you're told, shithouse it, throw it down, burn it up, cut it up, throw it in the fire. There's this big globalist Hollywood tree, all beautiful. Looks so good, looks so tasty, but no matter how long you look, over every branch, every square inch of that damn thing, it's poison. It's big and beautiful and narcissistic, but the squirrels and the mice and the birds and the people don't get shit out of it. And so this is all a big choice you gotta make. You want trees that bear fruit? You want trees that bear death. InfoWars, not bragging, just fact, has delivered victories, has delivered elections, has delivered exposing, you name it. Not because we're perfect, but we're just bearing fruit. And that's why we need your hopes, your prayers, your support, because we've had the Communist Party file suit on us in Cleveland for millions of dollars that we don't have, just because we went and covered a flag burning and a tussle when a fight happened. And they hit me with a new lawsuit. There's like 6 or 7 of them right now. And, you know, we're going to continue on and make it through all this, but you'll know us by our enemies, Soros-backed groups, the communists. I'll be able to talk a lot about more of this in the future so people know exactly what we're up against. But we have Al Gore, Hillary Clinton's, other people's law firms. The stuff I'll be able to announce very, very soon, trying to shut us down right now. So we've tried to be good. We've tried to tell the truth. We've delivered. And, you know, whatever happens to us in the end, it's all part of the new generation. Things come, things go. I don't feel sorry for myself. I just know that when you financially support us, InfoWarsStore.com, And when you, more importantly, pray for us and spread this live video link, you get around the censors and the shadow bans and everything else that these fake stories are meant to obscure. So, gentlemen, thank you for coming over for this transmission. Whether you're watching on Facebook or YouTube or wherever you're watching, feel free to copy this video on your own channel, get it out, just put it on your own platform, and we're going to make this fight go all the way to the end, and we're going to defeat the globalists. But we are on a nuclear tinderbox. The world is in danger. So we need to seek Christ's face in the quiet place of the Most High that King David talked about, that we've got any hope of navigating this. Arrogance and hubris is the way of destruction. Pride go up before a fall. We do this because we honor our ancestors and we honor our future children and their progeny and the great experiment on this planet that we hope takes us to the next level in this great test. Thank you all for watching. If you're involved in this transmission, you are the resistance.